Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody. For everybody watching on YouTube live right now, good to see you. Please write in the chat. I want to know who's watching so we can interact with you. I can see 5 people on YouTube live right now. Amazing. Welcome to this live stream for High Noon. The title today is Dying for Love, scratched out, Healing for Love. Healing for Love is the title for today's live stream. And we really want to dive into this topic because many people want love. They want marriage. They want to have a beautiful relationship with somebody, but maybe feel like there's something holding them back. Maybe they haven't healed enough in their hearts to receive that blessing in the future, to be open for marriage. So yes, for everyone that doesn't know me, my name is David Hewish. I've been helping with the marriage prep program in High Noon for nearly 3 years. And we're going to jump straight into it. With me today, I know the big hype has been not me today, but the 2 special guests that we have. These amazing people, big celebrities. So my good friends, Tim and Rebecca, who I can say so much about them, but I'm just going to stick with saying they are the most amazing people I've ever met in the world. So I'm going to add to the stage right now, Tim and Rebecca. Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys today? How's the day been going so far?
Good. Been a long day, but feeling excited to be here and share with you guys. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good as well. Excited for this live stream.
Excellent. So I think we all want to hear who you guys are. And spoiler alert, they are matched. They are engaged. They're getting married in just a few months in Korea. But who are you guys? I want to hear a little bit of an introduction. Where are you from? What have you done in the church community? What have been like your responsibilities the past few years? I know you've both been very busy. And what are you doing now? I'd love to hear. Maybe starting with Tim.
No. Ladies first.
Okay, ladies first. There we go.
Okay. So I'm Rebecca Staika. I'm from Italy. I'm 23 years old. It's been a few years since I started to work in a more active way in the church. Right now, I'm a carp leader here in Italy with other 2 brothers and sisters. And I'm helping with the harp community, and it's like here and there, like helping if I can, supporting High Noon. I really believe in this, and this is who I am, what I'm doing right now. So I'll pass to Tim.
Thank you. My name is Tim. I'm 21 years old. I am from Austria. And I've been involved in many different church activities. Right now, I don't have any particular responsibility or leadership role. I also am supporting High Noon. I'm currently a part of foundation staff, if any of you know that program, trying to help coordinate that and just help out in different ways. And I've been also like a youth leader here and there, and just trying to connect with people and try to just share God's love in certain ways. And now most importantly, I'm matched to my beautiful future wife, Rebecca.
Wonderful. You guys are really amazing people. I feel incredibly blessed to be friends with you 2 because you're incredibly giving people, you're incredibly caring people, you love God a lot, you show love to others. Finding out at the end of last year that you 2 were engaged was huge news. That was very surprising, but at the same time over joyful. It was full of joy to find out about you 2 getting engaged, having been friends with both of you individually before. It was great. But you guys have a lot of valuable things to share. But before we dive into that, I just want to inform everybody who's watching live how this live stream is going to go. So we're going to hear testimonies from both Tim and Rebecca on how they dedicated time to really heal things in their lives that needed healing before starting a relationship, before really committing to a godly marriage. And so we'll hear those 2 testimonies, and then afterwards we'll have a Q&A session. So you can, throughout this live stream, please feel free to post any comments or questions in the chat, and we'll do our best to respond to them. Also, there'll be an opportunity during this live stream to register for core as well, if you are interested to yourselves prepare more for your marriage in the future. I'm going to be super cheesy right now and ask everybody to like and subscribe to High Noon's channel, because that's what we want to do. More encouragement from Rebecca and Tim. Ask everybody why should they like and subscribe?
Why should you like and well, I mean, High Noon has great content. It has helped me a lot. I will go into that, especially during what I'll share in my testimony. But I think it's really worthwhile, especially for the podcast, but also recently more live streams. David was sharing before how passionate he's about doing all of these things. So I think there's a lot you can gain from that. So yeah, that's just for me.
Yeah, I agree. Great values, great content. It was really always so helpful to hear some podcasts, participate to some program, and it was really important for my growth and in this journey for the blessing and matching. Sorry, but like and subscribe.
Yes, thank you. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to dive into the first story, which will be shared by Tim. So I'm going to maximize you so that everyone can see your lovely, beautiful face. There we go. Take it away, Tim.
All right. Thank you, David. I want to share, so two stories today with you guys. I gave them 2 different titles. The first one is called My Parents, and then the second one is called My Heavenly Parents. And I think these 2 stories that were really important in making the person I am now and my journey towards feeling capable to getting matched and attending the blessing. And my first story, My Parents, starts together actually with my journey with High Noon, which was during the start of COVID. Already around the time and before, I was not having the best relationship with my parents, and being in the situation of COVID and just staying at home a lot. I think everyone can relate. You were confronted with just spending time with your family every single day, and so that also just showed even more how the relationship with my parents was not where I wanted it to be. I could really see how I was hiding a lot. I was never opening up really to them. I was scared to be vulnerable. I was scared to be hurt by them. And I think because of this, but also because of my issues with porn and masturbation, around the time I took my first concrete steps with overcoming my issues with sexual integrity, and joined High Noon programs. I got some accountability partner and mentors. I joined this 90-day challenge and everything, and tried to get on track. And also through this content that I gained there, I realized how important it is also to share honestly and openly, especially with your parents, about having these issues. So this was something that was stuck in my head already for some time. And when starting with High Noon, I felt, okay, this is maybe also now a good time to do that. So after I think half a year, even a bit longer, I brought up courage to do that, and had I would actually say probably the first really honest and open conversation I had with my parents. And I was really open and really vulnerable with them. After that, I did feel really relieved. There was a big weight that was removed from me. But at the same time, I also felt a little bit hopeless, especially by the way that they reacted. I felt that they didn't completely understand me. I saw how they did try to help me. There was a huge desire to do that, but they didn't understand what I needed, which was a lot because, of course, the knowledge was limited, but also because I didn't communicate that. And me having this conversation with my parents was the first real communication I had with them, where I was sharing openly and honestly. But after that, it was still difficult, in daily life to take this step again. So because of that, there was still a distance, and it got really difficult for me to share again with my parents. So I stayed with High Noon in a sense to get this support. I was connecting with my people. I was joining Ascend. I was connecting with mentors, not only in High Noon, but also with other people here in my local community, which was really, really important and helped me a lot. during that time. And I think through connecting with these people and through sharing openly and honestly in these groups, but also with my mentors, I really understood how when I ask for help and when I share honestly and openly, like this is where I was able to like grow, where I was overcoming these issues that I was still facing, also with my parents actually, but most importantly with my issues with porn and masturbation. And when I was hiding more, when I wasn't confronting my fears in that sense, I wasn't able to grow. I was really stagnant, and things would even get worse. Cycles would return, old cycles that I wanted to go away from. And yeah, that went on for some time. I also took on facilitator roles in High Noon, etc. And then it took like another 2 years or so when I first approached the idea of the matching and blessing, and also talked with my parents because of previous content that I had received from attending workshops, etc. I also understood that yes, having a relationship with your parents that's good is really important, right? Also for like talking with them, and communicating for like matching processes, but only I think I'm realizing this only later now, also for like having support, having like a family member, and also establishing a relationship with a loved one, where because what I'm realizing now is when going into a relationship with someone that you love, things have a lot more meaning to them, and because I was distancing myself a lot from my parents, I was not able to work on that so much, but through having a desire to attend Matching and Blessing, reached out to my parents, especially my dad, and we attended Matching and Blessing workshops, and we started doing conditions together, which was quite difficult for me, because I had created this distance between him and myself. But then all of a sudden, through doing daily conditions, like reading Hundaki, reading the Divine Principle, there was all of a sudden a daily interaction in a more deep level. And I was really confronted, and that was really good because that means I could grow, I could come out of that, and I could confront my fears, and this resulted in us having long evening walks and just talking where I could express myself, what many things that had been happening over the past that were stored up where I couldn't express myself in a good way because I was really emotional, I was really loud, and all the ways that I was expressing myself were coming out of hurt, and I was trying to show that in different ways without being clear, expecting my parents to understand, but of course they didn't, and so with that, like these conversations with my dad, where I could express that were really important and really crucial for him to understand me more. And because of that, and because of me opening up more, I could see how my dad was also starting to understand me better, and then also actively working on this relationship also himself, because it's both sides, right? And I could really see how he tried to understand me better and tried to respect me in different ways, and was really also passionate about helping me with Matching and Blessing, right? So this was also important to him, and I could see that. And I think, especially now looking back, it's something I'm really grateful for, like him having the patience to listen to me and all of my thoughts, and trying to work on making this distance less, right? And it's something I still need to work on a lot more, I think, especially from my side. But either way, my biggest takeaway from all of that is really how this clear communication was really important, and that the other person in any sort of conflict or discussion or misunderstanding cannot fully understand you, they will always understand something different than what you're actually going through, and I was the only one who knew how I was feeling, what was going on, right? So I had to use my power and my voice to express that, which also included my needs, right? Which again, I was just expressing how I felt in the past, but in those moments, in those years, I also didn't express so much what I needed from my parents, from them, right? When I shared with them about my issues with porn and masturbation, I didn't tell them what I needed in return from that. And this is something I'm learning for the first time now, really properly in my relationship with Rebecca, because it's never really something I did with my parents in the past. And it's slowly growing more and more like this habit. But it's one of the biggest things I see now that I actually still need to work on, in order to improve on being a good husband in the future, right? And yeah, so this is like kind of the first story done about my parents, and now going a bit more into my heavenly parents. As David already asked before, like what I do in church, I think some of you maybe know, like I've been really involved in the church more and more over the past 5 to 6 years. And yeah, these experiences have allowed me to grow in many different ways and have impacted me really a lot, right? In learning practical skills, working together with people, etc. And it was really connecting also in many, many different things that our church and our movement does. And which was really fun, like I think I got to travel a lot, meet a lot of people, and really gain a lot out of that. But yeah, I could also see how I was trying to gain more and more, and at some point it really got too much for me. At the start of last year, I really reached a point where I was involved in too many things, because I was feeling burnt out, I was feeling overwhelmed, I was feeling anxious, about things, and I was feeling a lot of anxiety because I felt like I didn't have control of all the things that I wanted to have control over, because I felt that I had to do that, right? I wanted to have an overview of all the things. I felt responsible. I felt if I don't do it, no one else will do it. And I could really see how also like what I had built over the years was that, my self-worth and how much I value myself was dependent on this involvement and how much I was doing in the church, how can I say this, that I realized I needed to make big changes to that, because it's a really unhealthy approach, to life. And when something didn't go wrong, I was feeling really bad. In general, I'm a person who's really hard on themselves, so this was building just on top of that. So what I did, I tried to leave responsibilities behind, especially the ones that I felt pressure to do or that I needed to do. And I tried to focus more on things I genuinely wanted to do, that I felt really inspired to do. And most importantly, I think I invested a lot more heavily into my relationship with Heavenly Parents, with God, which was a major aspect of rebuilding this identity that I was building over these past years before, of this perfect church boy, who's like the really good member, who's always involved in everything, and it's just there for everyone and invests so much here and there. But to go rather back to my fundamentals of feeling enough, because I'm a child of God, right? Which is the fundamental aspect of all of our identities, right? And I wanted to, I saw how that wasn't strong enough, because my self-worth was dependent on something else and not only this love from Heavenly Parents, right? And so I was heavily trying to connect with Heavenly Parents. I was having intentional time at the Trondheim one, praying and reflecting, which was really good. Also around this time of the year, I was preparing a lot for a special grace and the Chonmungon entrance ceremony. But I was also reaching out to a lot of people, when I was feeling overwhelmed, when I was feeling anxious, and receiving back, not only from Heavenly Parents, but also from other people, this love and grace, this care that they had for me. I really felt that I was accepted for who I am and not how I performed, the things that I did. And I see that this understanding and this healing that's taking place on this fundamental level is something that's still going on, even now more than ever, going into a relationship and learning to understand what it means to fully accept someone as they are, but also experiencing this feeling of showing all of your flaws, showing all of your ugly sides, but still being loved, as something that's really precious, especially if you haven't experienced that so much before, and there's this one person that you really try and work that out with, that where this person promises to you that, yes, I will always be there, right? And especially this last point, I really want to emphasize again, I'm realizing more and more, I couldn't, and you cannot heal everything and get rid of all of your flaws before getting into a relationship. There's a lot that you can do, and I think there are many things that I did, but there were still things that I was missing out on, and that I'm only able to heal now, and I think marriage also is there to grow, where it is there to heal some of these aspects, and it's something that's never ever stopping, and I think I'm realizing this more and more, especially because of this relationship that I'm in, and because of how well Rebecca is supporting me in all of these aspects and showing me so much love. And yeah, so this is how I want to conclude my testimony for now. And yeah, thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much, Tim. Some amazing points there. Yeah, really intentionally choosing to develop a relationship with your physical parents, with your heavenly parent, choosing a good balance in your life with your responsibilities versus how much care you give to yourself. Yeah, learning what love really is, giving and receiving love. You're a brother I know who gives so much love, effortlessly sometimes. And I'm so glad that now you're able to receive a lot of love from mentor figures, from your parental figures, and now from this amazing woman as well from Italy who can love you to bits.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing. So I want to take a second now to let everybody know about the core program. So if you want to be as happy as Tim is and receive as much love as he's receiving now with a special person one day, I really recommend this program. The QR code is right here on the top left corner. If you're watching on the laptop, you can scan that, or in the chat, there you go. You can click on this link to register for CORE. The CORE program is designed to help people with their marriage prep by focusing on their relationship with God, their relationship with themselves. They'll have a chance to join a group of brothers or a group of sisters and really look at what is the ideal of marriage. Not just the fun things you want to do, but what is the nitty-gritty, the deep core element of what is the marriage blessing, and what does that mean to you. So if that sounds exciting, if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, I recommend you register for that. But yeah, we do have another exciting story to share today. So let's hear the other side of this incredible young couple who's about to be married soon. Let's hear from our dear sister, Rebecca.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Tim, and thank you for introducing me, David. So yeah, my story is pretty similar. I think that the things that we need to work on, the important things that we need to work on before starting a matching process are pretty the same. So my journey started in 2023 when I went to, like in the summer of that year, I had a really huge and beautiful experience with God. God was part of my life again after really difficult adolescence and difficult years. And after that, I decided that the blessing was my biggest goal. I really wanted to work for that. And it became my dream. So on November that year, we went to Matching and Blessing workshop to just understand a little bit about things, concrete things and spiritual things, understand better the blessing. And during this workshop, I heard this really great concept. And this concept was the 3 relationship concept. So they had this talk where they said that there are 3 really important relationships that you should work on before starting the matching process. And the first one is with God. The second one is with your parents. And the third one is with yourself. So after that workshop, I came back home and I was really, really inspired. And I was like, oh, okay, now I will just work on this relationship. I will invest a lot. Also because it was not possible for me because of past mistakes to just look for a partner really in an active way. So I was like, okay, I'll just dedicate some time to work on myself and these relationships. So the first one, the one with God, it was really an amazing journey because everything was really new. I was really excited. I was really curious. And I was spending a lot of time talking with God, doing a lot of conditions, reading on Doke. During that time, I was reading the Bible. I was really passionate about that. I was like, okay, I need to invest more in this relationship. I want to know God's heart more. I want to know God's spirit more, God's love more. And now that is part of my life, I want to know everything about him, about this really huge heart that she has. And it was really beautiful. And I remember having talks with friends and my parents about things that I found out about God. I was really happy at the time to experience God in a really direct way. So yeah, I spent a lot of intentional time with God, which was really important, like having this mindset of I want to spend time now with God. And I remember that and I always tell this, but I really like this picture because my mind is really, I work with picture. I have a picture every time that I think about something. And every time that I was talking with God, but also now, it's like every time that I talk with God, I just imagine God sitting in front of me with a coffee, just like, two friends talking about life and gossips and things, just like, laughing together. So I remember that during that time, I started to have this picture in my mind more and more to just make God feel more closer to me. And it was really, really helpful for the matching blessing, because I had this really huge desire to be the kind of wife and the kind of mother that is able to bring God inside the family in an active way, in a really visible way. So it was really important for me to build this really deep and personal relationship with God, so I could, yes, bring that in my future family, like bring that as an offering to my future partner, to say like, okay, I'm able to bring God, I'm able to feel God's heart, and I want to give this to our children. So it was really, really important. And it was from zero, because I, like, during the years before my spiritual experience where I met God, my relationship with God was zero. Like, it was not there, not at all. It was, and it was really negative. I used to think that God was blaming me, like, the Christian, I don't know, like, it was really negative. It was really full of hate and insecurities and everything. So went from zero, and I invested every day a little bit, so it could be a good enough. About the second relationship, also this one was really was not there at all. During my adolescence, I was having a lot of discussions and fights with my parents. They were really heavy, and at some point we were just not talking at all. It was really difficult. There was a lot of pain, a lot of traumas, a lot of difficult situations, and it was really traumatic for both, like, my parents and me. So when I just decided to work on my future blessing in an active way, I had to also rebuild that relationship. We all know that parents are really important in the process of finding the possible future spouse. And for me, it was really important to invest more in that relationship. So I started to, again, spend intentional time with my parents, quality time with my parents. I remember that we drank a lot of coffees, talking about a lot of things, also past emotions and past feelings. It was a really beautiful time where we were able to know each other again, to understand what was going on in our life. And it was really beautiful. It was more like a friendship. We were trying to build a friendship. And during this time, we were also talking a lot about blessing, dreams, expectations. So that put a really big and important foundation for when we actually started to look in an active way for a partner, because everything was clear. We talked about everything, like our communication little by little became really much better. So it was really important for the purpose of a matching process to work on that relationship. Right now we're really close. We don't live together anymore, also back at that time. So it was a little bit more difficult to create that space where we could rebuild that relationship. But I'm really grateful for all the work that I did, but also they did. And it was really, really worth it. And the last relationship, I think that I didn't do a really great job with that at that time, like 2 years ago. It's like the relationship with myself. So because of my past, I had a really difficult relationship with myself. I was blaming myself a lot. I was feeling a lot of guilt. I was feeling a lot of unworthiness. I was feeling that I don't deserve this, so I need to compromise a lot because of things that I did. So, and I had this really difficult relationship with myself and with the things that I did. I was not able to forget myself really properly. So I was like, I felt the need to work on that, to at least start in this healing process, this process of forgiving my past mistakes and forgiving myself, and to just start to build self-confidence, confidence again, be sure about my values again. So what I did, and this was not that right, but what I did, it was focus on be a good member of the community, because for a lot of years I was absent, I was not there. So I thought that, okay, to be again a great person, I need to be a community member. So I need to invest a lot, and is what gonna make me a valuable person worthy of the blessing. So yeah, that was a huge problem actually, and I want to conclude with a little advice for younger brothers and sisters, but like people that are preparing for the matching. Yes, it was not good for two main reasons, because I was overthinking all the time about the people, how the people responded to me, and if it was not really great, I was like, oh, I was thinking that I was not a good person, I was not a good older sister, I was not a good member of the community, I was not a good daughter, I was not a good daughter of God. So I was really focused on how the people gave me the responses back. So it was really, really based on that. And the second huge problem, and it was that, I didn't believe that I was a good person. I didn't believe that I was worthy of the blessing and worthy of love in general. I didn't believe that myself. I was basing everything on what other people thought about me. And I was not working at all at be really sure about my values, and be really sure that I really deserve to be happy, and I really deserve to have a great blessing, and I really, I'm a really valuable person. So yeah, and with this I will conclude my little testimony, and it's more an advice that I want to give to all the people that are preparing for the matching, for a matching process or for the blessing, because during that time I used to have this really childish idea of, I will get a partner and everything will be solved, because it will tell me that I'm beautiful, it will tell me that I'm worthy of love, it will tell me that I'm such a great person and I do everything right. And I thought that would have solved the problem, but actually it's not true. Tim is doing all of this, but since I'm not believing that first, it's really difficult for me to accept that. So now I'm working on that, but I wish I could do the work 2 years ago when I started to work on the blessing. So this is my advice for you, to work on your self-confidence, to work on the values and the qualities that you think that you will bring in a relationship, to work on knowing who you are and how valuable you are and how worthy you are of a really great blessing. And no matter what happened, no matter what is your past, or what you did or what you didn't, I don't know, it's just work on that, and it's gonna be really worthy. And so as Tim said, the healing process is still going on, but I'm really grateful that I could work on a lot of things before starting a matching process. I can really see how worthy it was, and I'm still healing with Tim's help, and I'm still working on forgiving everything, and just become a great future wife and become a great mother in the future and everything. So that's my little testimony. So I'll call David again on stage. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Rebecca, for that really touching, really moving testimony, but also very clear, very nice, concrete steps there with you healing your 3 special relationships, right? With God, with your parents, and with yourself, which is actually parallel to what Tim was doing as well in his healing. He was working on those 3 relationships also. So there seems to be a running theme here, that if you work on those 3 relationships, you get a spouse, or you're more ready for a spouse. You worked on that healing. So that's really beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Rebecca. So we're going to move into our Q&A. So if anybody watching live has any questions, now's the time to ask them. And please throw as many questions out there as you want. We already do actually have some questions. So I'm going to put the first one on the screen, and then Rebecca and Tim, if you want a few seconds to reflect on the question and decide who wants to answer it first. You guys ready for some questions?
Yes.
Sure, that's good.
Sure. Okay. Let's go with the first one. How were you introduced / guided to each other?
Well, maybe I can answer that. Yeah, so there were some occasions in the past here and there when I met Rebecca, but I feel like the proper first time was in 2024 when, we were both in Korea. We were attending the pilgrimage, and also the spirituality workshop was going on there. And we started be part of like a friend group there, and started to get to know each other there. And we're really ambitious, we were coming back from this trip in Korea, feeling really inspired to do many things, and kind of starting working together and supporting each other as part of this friend group. And I think through that whole process that was going on of being this friend group, we got to know each other also more as well. There was also a time where I took a lot more practical steps through the Matching a Blessing. And I really had also the desire to be able to suggest someone to my parents. And this is what I ended up doing. I thought that, Rebecca would be a really, really good possible partner for me back then. And it turned out to be true. And I took the courage to talk to my parents, and we started the process in May 22nd last year. And now here we are.
Do you want to add anything, Rebecca?
No, I was really, I have this memory. This is so funny because like my parents, they received the profile and they were trying to share that with me. And they were just over. I remember, this is so funny. It's just like a little funny story behind that. That they were trying to share the screen on a WhatsApp video call, and it took them 10 minutes, and I was like, they're really losing my patience. And then they just figured out how to do that, and it was like team stays there. I was really happy. And but basically it's a self-match. Like we went through the parents, but I was him proposing, but I thought about him also before. So
yeah, destiny threw you together. Yeah. Okay, well, there's currently no questions yet in this chat, but I do have some prepared questions for you to hopefully dive a little bit deeper into your stories, but also kind of looking at the topic of healing and what kind of maybe inspiration people can get from your story. So the first question is not quite asking for advice, but more just in your opinion, what would you say in response to this question, which is, what would you say to somebody who is desperate to get married, but they feel stuck in their relationship? And maybe you can think of yourself when you were in that boat of feeling desperate to want to start a process or feel loved, but you felt stuck. What would you say to somebody?
Do you want to answer that?
I mean, yes, I can try. It's a really difficult question. Just do not lose hope, I guess. I mean, I was the one really desperate to get matched and blessed. I was really pushing a lot in that direction, but things were not working. And I thought that I thought that I had to compromise, and I went through really painful experiences during that time. But what I've learned through that time is that, we should trust God, which is really, this is what I did. I kept working on myself, like trying to see what are the things I could do in an active way for that purpose. But yes, it was just about trusting. I prayed a lot at that. I did a lot of conditions, but I never lose the hope. I never lost the hope, and I was really, giving everything to God. I was like, God, I'll completely trust you. This is, I will just trying to follow your plan and everything. But yeah, so yeah, if I could, yeah, we'll say this, like to trust God and keep trying to see what you can improve and you can work on. Still moving, like still trying to make steps. Also really little, also really humbling and everything, but just keep making the little steps in that direction, because you never know when two ways are will become one, right? You never know when your way is gonna, yeah, he's gonna be united with someone else. So yeah, that's difficult. We'll just give them a hug and we'll say that it's okay. But
yeah, hugs are healing. I do want to dive a little bit deeper into what you just said, though, because you said that trusting God and being hopeful is what helped you. But I'm sure there's many people watching this live stream who want to know how to trust God. How can they be hopeful? So maybe what worked for you to have that trust and to have hope?
I had this really strong idea that no matter when, is like God's plan is for us to be happy, right? So there's that's gonna be the goal. The goal, like no matter what, no matter how long it's gonna take, no matter how difficult it's going to be, like to get there, but that's the goal. That's for sure is gonna come. Unfortunately, we don't know when. I really wish that I could have a book just to be like able to read when exactly that could happen. But like what I was trying to focus on, it was like, that's the blessing is what God wants for you, and that's is gonna happen for sure. Maybe through different ways, maybe in a few years, maybe in 2 weeks, who knows, right? It's like we don't know when, we don't know how, but we know that that's gonna come for sure. Yeah, sometimes like you feel this I felt a lot that like this need to control and to have everything under control. Like I want this to happen now. I was like, I want to go to this blessing. I want to like this is like, and I had a lot of ideas of like, oh, my first process is gonna be my like the one. And I had all this idea, and it was really challenging when understood the reality. And I thought, okay, maybe like this is not going to happen. It's going to take longer. It's going to be more difficult. But what I had always in my mind was the blessing will arrive. That's it. So, yeah, I don't know if it's helpful. I don't know if you want to add something, but
yeah, maybe I can give a little bit of a different perspective on the question. Yeah, because like from what I also understood, like when like it's about someone who's desperate for love, right? And I feel like my response to that is love yourself first, because yeah, like there's of course something great that like another person can give you, you know, but I think also what we were trying to share to both of us is like, yeah, the other person is also looking for that, and for you to also give that, you also need to like have that from this love to give from somewhere else, you know, like I don't know if anyone knows like 5 love languages. You know, they're there to talk about the love tank, you know, like how that can fill up, but also how you can like give that love to other people, you know, and like how that is like emptied again for different things that you do. And to have a good relationship with yourself, I think is really important in order to do that, you know, because yeah, being desperate, I feel, is not a good state of mind, you know, to look for someone, you know, because then is where like mistakes happen, you know, where you do compromise, right? And yeah, when you know your own value, but also when you love yourself first, right, and where you have a good relationship with yourself, I think you can, yeah, you can also you can trust a lot more as well into things. You know, you're not overthinking, and you're not like anxious about, oh, is maybe this or that person that can really give me all of that what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for diving a bit deeper into that. I think it's very helpful to hear. Okay, we do have a question here from the chat, which is, what was the most important factor / consideration for you during your matching process?
This means probably like to make the decision to get matched, I'm guessing.
During your process. So I think this is for you deciding whether or not you want to go ahead and get blessed between the two of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think the both of us, we had a little bit different approaches. I think Rebecca was better than mine. But yeah, I feel for me, maybe what I can share is a really big factor was how vulnerable I could be. And like feeling kind of what I was sharing at the end of my testimony, like this experience of being accepted for who I am, right? And also, but by showing also my vulnerable side, by showing the sides that are, oh yes, I'm this person, whatever, but no, I also have like all these other aspects I bring into and to the table. I think that was these experiences that I had, which there were quite a few, like maybe this sounds like, especially for the brothers, a bit like weird, but I remember like literally in the first months, I was crying in front of Rebecca, and I was embraced, and I was given love, and I was, and I felt accepted, and most importantly, I felt safe, and that was a really big thing for me, actually, especially then also later on throughout the process of having more and more of these conversations. But yeah, me being fully myself and being accepted, I think was really important for me. Yeah.
I think that, I don't know. I was looking for 30 important things in a future partner. And like in team during the 21 days where we had to decide whether or not to start this matching process, but also later, like when we took the decision to just, okay, we'll go to the blessing. And there's three things that I was looking, there were relationship with God, so personal relationship with God, and kindness and good listener. So I know that they can look, I don't know, but they have really deep reasons behind this. But I could see that in team from the really beginning, also when we were friends. Yes, so it's like, yeah. Also, what really helped was talking about future visions and future dreams and future family, and everything was. I remember that I was asking. I don't know. Like I don't know. I had a lot of weird questions. I mean, I have this really good, like really strange question that I like to ask to people, like, what is the perfect Sunday for them? And I asked that also to the team. I was like, what is your perfect Sunday? Like, can you describe me the perfect Sunday when you will have a family in the future? And I was like really surprised because it was really similar. I was like, oh, this is really good. The kind of family that we want to build is really similar. The kind of involvement that we want to have in the church is really similar. The kind of visions and dreams are really similar. So that was really helpful. And we're really connected with this three because Candace is really kind to me, but also to brothers and sisters, right? So it's like how we'll be like in a future community, like how is and he is in the community right now. And it was like, yeah, I don't know. It was this three things, but also the future, how he saw the future. So yeah, it's this.
Yeah, maybe also to add on that, like it's not that I didn't think about stuff like this at all. I think especially in 21 days we went really deep into those things. We shared before, like we knew each other already before, right? So we had already some sort of foundation and like understanding of each other as people. So it was really easy for us, I think, to get into the really deep and specific questions at the start, and there was also really important for me that these things align, that we have the same understanding, and that was like covered really quickly in the 21-day communication period. And like this experience I was sharing about before was something that happened more later on, right? Also during the 21 days, because I think that's also important to share about your history in certain ways. But then, still being able to be vulnerable and seeing that, and feeling accepted, I think was something that was more important later on, But yeah, what Rebecca shared is like, yeah, this is the foundation that was really established at the start, and I think that was really important as well. Yeah, to keep going into the process at the beginning.
Can I add one thing? Actually, it was, I don't know, it was really amazing because I have a really difficult past. Like I gave a testimony about that, like in a live stream also. I mean, I needed a special grade. I had a sexual relationship before, and for other people, it was a really huge problem. And what made me really happy and grateful, and what made me realize, oh, this is the person, is also like this ability that Tim had to just embrace me. But now, like, to just forgive everything that happened and to be able to see the person that I am now and the person that I can become in the future without focusing on that. And for me, it was really important because now, like, I know that he sees my potential, he sees the person that I am. And yeah, I know that is like, it's also helping me, like, with all this healing process, with this forgiving process that I'm trying to do. But that was really precious to me. It's like, I felt really God's heart. I felt, oh, this is amazing. I felt totally embraced. It was really nice. So yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. You helped each other heal during a process, and it looks like you're continuing to do that. That's really beautiful to see. Okay, I have a bit of a fun question to ask for you. Looking back, if you were to reflect on your past self, the version of yourself that decided to get blessed all those years ago, now that you are matched and you know who you're going to get married to, what are you most grateful for in your past self on that journey?
That's a difficult question, not a fun question.
Well. Gets you thinking. That's the fun part. Maybe it's fun for me just to watch you think hard.
Yeah. I think maybe what I would say is, like, I was always, like, during this period of time where I was really, like, getting more and more involved in many different things in the church. Like, I felt during that time I was always up for a challenge. You know, I started developing this mindset of towards growth, which, you know, in a sense is also healing, right? To always, like, approach that, you know, and not hide from that, you know. I think which is something I've definitely learned through High Noon, you know, which is all about connection, you know. And I think this is a great way to connect, you know, when overcoming your fears and being able to work on aspects of yourself, you know. And I think this is something that I'm really grateful for, that I never, like, backed away from opportunities like these, you know, especially big ones, you know, where I was really challenged, you know, but I didn't give up, you know. Like, it was really difficult, you know, and, like, there were points where I was struggling a lot, you know, but having this mindset of, yeah, this is worthwhile in the end, you know, because of how I will come out better afterwards, you know, I think is really important, you know, because this is an aspect that in life never stops, you know. And yeah, I think that's something I'm really grateful for. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would say, because at the beginning of my journey, I was in a lot of situations that allowed me to build a better communication. Still is difficult sometimes. Like, I've spent most of my adolescence just trying to deal with problems alone, so sometimes it's difficult. But rebuilding my relationship with my parents helped me just, like, tell them what's wrong, and just trying to communicate that in a less aggressive way, or, like, try to communicate that in a more peaceful way, a more honest way. Also, like, because, like, when you build a relationship, maybe there are, like, some things that you need to fix, you know, like, you need to point out, so they can just change a little bit, you can just change a little bit, and you can just become better persons to each other, right? And that allowed me to just build this healthier way to communicate. And also, I was in a more in a position where I was a lot of times the older sister, because I was taking care of few second gens here in Italy. I was, like, in that situation a lot, and that made me a really good listener. And yeah, so I'm grateful for that, I guess. Yeah, but it's a really difficult question. Yeah, so yeah.
I'll let you reflect on it even more. I think everyone should be asking themselves these questions. I do it a lot, actually. Look back on my past self and go, what am I grateful for? I've talked about this a lot on live streams as well, like the importance of gratitude, having a gratitude mindset, how positivity is not a feeling, it's actually it's a choice. And I see with you two, especially, choosing to be positive about your future blessing, choosing to put in the work to heal, choosing love, choosing a godly lifestyle. It's not easy. I don't want to take it for granted that you two are incredibly godly people. Like many people, regardless of whether they were raised in a faith environment or not, they don't feel worthy of love. As Rebecca was sharing earlier, they don't feel like they deserve love. And I know from the deep conversations I've had with you two over the past year or so, we've had very interesting lives, very adventurous. Being part of this movement has taken us many places, internally and externally. And yeah, either within the church or outside, just life in general, you can get hurt and burned by a lot of things, right? And you can choose to let that harden your heart, or to take away your hope, your faith that everything will be okay in your future. But what I really see with you two is you chose positivity, you chose hope, you chose the blessing, you chose each other. And those choices are, I don't want to make it sound like it's everyone, can do it just like that. The fact that you are choosing this path is incredible. It's amazing. It's a path which I really want to follow as well. We talk about this a lot openly in the core program community, and here in High Noon we're very open. As someone who's still single myself, there are days where I feel like there's no hope, like I'm really just not going to achieve the blessings, I'm not strong enough, right? But hearing your story, it's really inspiring to see the journey that you've taken. I look up to that every single day. Knowing you two, it's like, I want to be more like Tim, I want to be more like Rebecca, and do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I do have one more question, which is kind of aligned with what I just said, which is, what would you say to somebody who is scared of healing, the healing process?
I would say that it's gonna be difficult, but that's not a bad thing, and that's gonna be worth it. And it's not gonna be linear. It's not gonna be like one victory after another. It's gonna be more like a roller coaster, but it's really good. Like daily little steps are so precious, and also if sometimes like it feels like you're taking a step backwards, that's fine. That's part of the process. The process is not meant to be like this. It's meant to be more regular, which is totally normal, especially with healings, because a lot of things can trigger you. A lot of things can came out again, and you thought that you overcome that, and then it was not true. So it's like, yeah, it's gonna last a lot of years, but the journey is beautiful. And also, if sometimes it's more difficult, and yeah, seems like you're not making a lot of improvement, that's totally fine.
Tough question, man. I mean, I definitely agree with what Rebecca said. Like, it is scary. Yeah, and like, I don't know, like even after making like some progress here and there, I'm still scared, like because of what might happen, but I think yeah, I don't know, like in the end, I don't know, like you are not comfortable with where you are at that point, right? Like you need healing because something isn't right, you know. And that sounds maybe a bit harsh, you know, like, oh, something isn't right, maybe with myself or like some relationship, whatever. But I think in the end, healing, most importantly, is there to experience more love, you know. And I really like this concept of expanding the borders of your heart, you know. If you imagine your heart, you know, being like I don't know, like on a map, you know, and you really like to be at the center, you know, and you really like it's comfortable, you know, with the people that you can easily love and enjoy time with, you know, or maybe with yourself, you know, just like doing the things you like, you know, whatever that might be, you know, and even be good things, you know, like I don't know, like for example, me investing into the church is generally something good, but I was staying in a place where I felt safe and comfortable. You know? I wasn't going to the borders of my heart where things are a bit more tricky, you know. But by going to the borders, you know, where things are a bit like uncertain, like it's how to say, like it's territory where I didn't explore so much yet. It's like I don't know what will happen. But by going there, like I'm expanding the map. You know, I'm growing my heart, and for that I not only can experience more love because my heart is bigger, but I can also give more love, you know. And I think that is really important, you know, like doing these regular travels. You know, sometimes it's okay to come back. You know, this is like what Rebecca was talking about, like this up and down. You know, like sometimes you go back and that's okay, but to not forget about that and to always work on like exploring these new aspects. You know, and there's like the 4 rounds of heart. You know, like all these things that I could go into, but most importantly, like by healing, by challenging yourself in these ways, you are growing your heart, and you're growing your capacity to love, your capability to love, and that is something that's so beautiful to experience, and it's only able to be done by healing, you know, by doing these things that are difficult, you know. But the result is so much more valuable, you know, because I don't think anyone of us wants to have like the small little heart, you know. We want to have a really big heart, you know, because there's a lot of joy involved in that, you know. There's so much meaningfulness, you know, so much meaning inside of that. That's what I would say.
Beautiful. Thank you. I'm glad that you went deep into answering that question in a very nice way, in a way that is very inspiring, I think. So I knew if I just prod Tim long enough, he would come out with like a sermon. Same with Rebecca. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, that's the end of the Q&A. So thank you so much for sending in the questions, everybody watching live, and thank you, Rebecca and Tim, for answering them. So again, I do just want to remind everybody, or if you've come in later in the live stream, there is a program that's just for you. You can look in the top left corner of my screen. There's a QR code, and in the chat there should be a registration link to the core program, which is for marriage preparation. So I want to give a few people who's watching live the opportunity over the next few minutes to just check our website out. Even if you don't want to register yourself, or the program is not for you because you're already blessed, or you're not quite ready for the blessing, let's say you're younger, for instance. This is a 16 plus program, by the way. So if you're 16, 17, you're not too young. I've had people in my UK community going, I'm too young for this program. No, you're not. The right time to start preparing now at 17 years old. But yeah, if you want to look at the website, if you go to highnoon.org and go to programs, go to the singles program, core program, then you can also share that with somebody you know who you think that might benefit from the program. Also, if you want to give feedback on this live stream or share any ideas on other topics I can talk about, maybe with Rebecca and Tim again in the future, or with other guests, you can contact me. I just sent my High Noon email into the chat, so you can contact me there. And whilst everybody is checking out the website and hopefully registering, Rebecca, Tim, how's blessing prep going in terms of the practical things? Has Rebecca found a dress? Does Tim has his tie sorted for Korea?
No, I mean, it's going. We're almost there. Just few things are missing. Finally, we have the confirmation of the date, which is really helpful. But yeah, it's going. yeah, I can feel the excitement, and it's just 2 months. Like, oh no, 3 months to okay, forget what I said. But it's like, yeah. So yeah, as I said, I have dress. We are trying to find the tickets. Soon also the team will have the suit and everything. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we feel like Rebecca is much better at this right now. She's got everything ready. I feel she got the dress and all of that, and I have zero. And yeah, so we're trying to. I have an appointment for my suit coming up, which is really exciting. It's not that often in your life that you go to like some tailor or whatever, to like get your everything measured and like adjusted, which is really exciting. But yeah, it's there's some things we still need to do. Something that's coming up is the fasting that we want to do as well, 3-day fast. But practically speaking, there's like I think just like on an organizational level, some things that need to be done here and there. But yeah, it's coming more and more close, and that's kind of pressuring in some ways. You need to think about all this stuff and like how to involve your family and buying tickets and like how to do that, and who's coming, who isn't, and then from when until when. But yeah, I think most importantly, it's really exciting. We're counting the days. We have like an app where we count the days until the blessing comes. And recently we crossed the 100 days mark, and it's like, oh, it's only 2 numbers anymore. And now it's like, oh my god. So yeah, it's really nice.
Exciting. Or at least there's one thing that's not missing, which is that you've actually found your spouse that you will get blessed to. So that's the biggest tick.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on to this live stream, Tim and Rebecca, for sharing your testimonies with everybody. Thank you for everybody that was watching live, and if you're watching the recording of this later, then hope you're having a good day. I hope that you're feeling loved. Hope you something touched you today. I hope that God touched your heart during this live stream. Any closing remarks from you two?
Just thank you, David, for the opportunity. What? Sorry.
No, go on.
For the opportunity. It was really nice.
Exactly. Yeah, I think. Yeah, just thank you. I think we have definitely something to share. Maybe it's not that unique of a story in some aspects, but still, I think hope that people could gain something from this. And yeah, if you have any questions or want to talk more, feel free to also reach out. But yeah, thank you for having us, David, and wishing all of you all the best.
Yes, thank you. Have an amazing day, everybody in the chat. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye, everybody.